Hello and welcome to the sci-fi road trip adventure that is Next Stop Nowhere. This here is the latest game from indie developer Night School, who were also behind, it was Oxenfree and more recently After Party, which I did hear good things about but never actually got around to trying. I did, however, play Oxenfree a couple of times on different platforms. I think it was originally an Xbox One game, then it came to, I believe, Switch and eventually PS4 as well. And while that game's setting and premise are obviously completely different to what you're seeing here, there is still, I would say, some fairly major overlap. For example, the studio's focus on decision-based dialogue as a key feature is still very much present, even down to text bubbles looking quite similar between their games. Oxenfree was both a comedy horror thing and, I suppose, a coming-of-age tale of sorts. The cast consisted of teenagers who basically were always at each other's throats. Not the most pleasant people to spend 5 or so hours with, but they did eventually become a bit warmer, I suppose, to each other. The cast in Next Stop Nowhere, by comparison, are much more laid back and, I'd say, instantly likeable, which isn't obviously a knock against Oxenfree. The premise here is that you're a space courier called Beckett, I believe, who very early on bumps into this mysterious lady called Sarah at a dive bar and is instantly pulled into a hunt for her missing son. It seems pretty clear, even at this early stage, that the decisions you'll make impact both your relationships with other characters and seemingly the story at large. Slightly later on, you're even given the option to pick which area you want to explore, and it's made abundantly clear that that will mean that you can't actually see the other one, which hopefully means that there will be a bit more replayability than we're used to with these sorts of story-heavy adventure games. At the moment, I've always been drawn to be very nice as Beckett, and that's probably because he seems like a naturally good guy. There are definitely times when you can slightly hurt the flow of conversation by picking an especially, clumsy or ill-judged response, but at this stage there aren't really any options to be just outright bad. You can't be a total scumbag or anything, which I'm totally fine with. When you're not out and about scouring the galaxy for clues and info, you'll spend most of your time back on Beckett's AI-controlled ship, which of course has its own personality. This time it's an slightly over-friendly, over-eager AI who seems to have been Beckett's only friend prior to him meeting Sarah. The ship has plenty of little activities to get involved in, so for example you can watch some movies with Sarah, you can play I Spy with the AI, you can gradually learn guitar, you can water your flowers. It's all very nice. It's a cool addition that kind of helps you unwind after every mission and basically allows you to spend more time with the characters, and you'll definitely want to do that as they're all very likeable and sweet, as I say, in their own ways, even if most of them are so far murderous bounty hunters, or ex-murderous bounty hunters I should say. My only real complaint about it so far is that the controls can be a touch fiddly from time to time. So for example, you can tap on the screen to move Beckett around, or you can hold your finger or thumb down to navigate your way around using a sort of touchscreen thumbstick, I suppose. You don't need to perform any particularly fancy maneuvers for the most part, but there have been a good few times where I've bumped into a wall or struggled to get around efficiently. There are also these sorts of, action sequences where you'll have to fly your ship through these dangerous debris fields or whatever. These sections control surprisingly well given how clumsy the on-foot controls can be, and I'm sure they'll eventually offer a pretty welcome change of pace throughout. I've only actually seen one of them so far, and it was pretty good fun. If you do fancy giving Next Stop Nowhere a go, it's actually available now on iOS via Apple Arcade. It's currently exclusive to the service, which basically means that I don't even think there's a Switch or PC version coming as of right now, or at least confirmed. Still, it's definitely worth trying if you're a subscriber or a fan of Night School's earlier stuff. It's just super laid back, regularly sweet, and I'm enjoying just chatting to these strange characters and basically trying not to upset anyone lest they blow my head off with a laser gun or whatever it is ex-bounty hunters do. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.